brought you down to your knees, but I'll be there for you. When the rain starts to pour, I'll be there for you. Like I've been there before, I'll be there for you. 'Cause you're there for me too. No one could ever know me, no one could ever see me, since you are the only one who knows what it's like to be me. Someone to face the day with, make it through all the rest with, someone I'll always laugh with, even at my worst, I'm best with you. It's like you're always stuck in second gear, when it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your year. But I'll be there for you. When the rain starts to fall, I'll be there for you. Like I've been there before, I'll be there for you. 'Cause you're there for me too. I'll be there for you. Rain starts to fall, I'll be there for you. Like I've been there before, I'll be there for you. 'Cause you're there for me too. This next song here is for all the mothers in the room and out there. Happy Mother's Day. When I'm 5 years old, it's getting cold. I've got my big coat on, and I hear you laughing, look up, smiling at you. I run and run past the pumpkin patch, and the tractor rides up now. The sky is gold, and I hug your legs and fall asleep on the way home. And I don't know why all the trees change into the fall. And I know you're not scared of anything at all. Don't know if Snow White's house is near or far away, but I know I had the best day with you today. And I'm 13 now, don't know how my friends could be so mean. And I come home crying and you hold me tight, then you grab the keys and we drive and drive until we found a town far enough away. We talk and window shop till I've forgotten all their names. And I don't know who I'm gonna talk to now at school. And I know I'm laughing on the car ride home with you. Don't know how long it's gonna take for me to feel okay, but I know I had the best day today with you. I have an excellent father. His strength is making me stronger. Got smiles on my little brother inside and out. He's better than I am. And I grew up in a pretty house and I had space to run. And I had the best days with you. And I don't know why all the trees change into fall. And I know you're not scared of anything at all. Snow White's house is near or far away, but I know I had the best days with you. The best days with you today.
Good morning, Gateway Branson. Happy Mother's Day to our women. If you are a mom, stand up so we can honor you. Thank you for all you do. I am a mom to be as well, if you can't tell. So you guys can sit down. My name is Ashley. I'm part of the team here at Gateway. That was a little embarrassing, babe. Okay, let's give our volunteers a big round of applause. Thank you for all you do to make service and Sunday morning happen. On your seats, guys, we have this connection card. On the back of it, you can see there is going to be a schedule of events. We want you to stay connected with what we're doing here, so we've given this information to you so that you can follow along and know what's going on. Also, here you can put a prayer request. So we care about you and what's going on, and if there's something that you want prayer for, fill this out, put it in the trash can looking buckets towards the door on your way out. We pray over these every single Tuesday morning as a staff, so we are here to support you and pray for you, so definitely fill that out. There's also an invite card. Guys, show me your invite cards. Make sure everybody's got one of these suckers. There we go. So we have this invite card. Did you guys know 70% of people that are unchurched have not been invited to church? 82% of the ones that you actually invite, they come to church. And 100% of breakfast is covered. Come on, that's a pretty good one. I didn't write it, but it was a pretty good one. So definitely invite your friends. We'll take care of breakfast for you guys, and we can continue to share the love. If you also make a donation, if you guys not make a donation, if you fill the paper out again on this part and it's your first time here, we want to know who you are. And when you put that in the buckets in the back and you mark first time, we will make a donation on your behalf to Mission of Hope in Haiti. We sponsor a school in Haiti, and we sponsor a little boy named Richardson Georges as well in Haiti, and we help him go to school. So fill that out, put that in, and then we'll make that donation on your behalf. We want to know that you're here, and we're glad to know that you're here. If anybody's interested in helping us after service, helping us clean up or anything like that, you're going to want to get connected over here to the connection spot. And if you want to help us after service, we pick up all the chairs, we reset the building. You're going to talk to Matt, who's over there also. I can see him. There he is. He will give us a few instructions on how we're going to stack the chairs and set up for our next event. We've got a few things going on here at Gateway Branson, and we've got an awesome video to tell you about it, so check this out.
Here are a couple of things that are going on this week.
The doctor is in. If you have a cold or are feeling sick to your stomach, we can get you connected to a doctor right away. Our medical room is open tomorrow and Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Your first visit is free, so why feel sick? Women, Infants, and Children, or WIC, will be signing up new individuals this Tuesday. WIC provides baby food, food stamps, and well baby checkups.
Every Thursday, be a part of transforming lives into a new way of living. From 8:30 to 11 in the morning, we will be making over 1,200 meals, and we will deliver those meals from 5:30 to about 9 o'clock at night. Come and spread hope and love in our community and see lives transformed.
We are here to help you. Also, Deeper Life now is on Tuesday nights. We're loving what's happening. If you've not made it, please try it and come and make it. We do dinner at 5:15, and then Deeper Life is at 6 o'clock, and we're kind of reviewing what we learned on Sunday, and we're breaking it down. We're going a little bit deeper. We're in smaller little groups so that you can talk through it. So if you have any questions from what you hear on a Sunday morning, Deeper Life on a Tuesday night is a great way to get you a next step for that. So we're really excited. And then immediately following Deeper Life, we do Restore. So we're still doing Restore. It's just it starts at 7:15 p.m. now. So it's still great programming on Tuesday night. Next week is very, very exciting because we are doing baptisms. So if you're at a place in your life where you are ready to take that next step and do kind of a public declaration to tell the world, yourself, and the Lord, I'm ready to give myself over and do this thing, we mark that with baptism. So we'll be doing that next Sunday. We would love to invite you into that and to participate in that and to stay after service to watch that as well. Also, we have a barbecue. It is barbecue season. I personally love the barbecue, so they're Sunday afternoons. This one's going to be on May the 19th from 2 to 4 o'clock, and we're going to do it right here in the parking lot. We've got live music, bounce houses, carnival games. We're partnering with SOO School, so we're going to have a ton of young students coming and loving on all of us and helping us with some of the games and stuff like that. So face painting, it'll be a lot of fun, and it's totally free for everybody. So definitely put that on your calendar and plan on being here for that, okay? All right, that's what we like to hear. So we saw our beautiful moms just a few minutes ago, and I have a few packages up here with Mama's name on it. But I need to find the mom who has given birth to the most kids. Let's start with 5. If you're a mother that has given birth to 5 children, stand up. Well, that was easy, Angela. Oh, we've got another one. Have either of you given birth to 6 children? 5? Where is she? Well, you got to be present. Okay, so she's got 7. Well, we're going to go with you two. And if you ladies, since you've tied, would like to come up here and pick a present, we want to celebrate what you have done and the hard work. You can just come to the front. You don't have to come on stage if that's easier. And just tell me which one you want. Let's give them a round of applause. Happy Mother's Day. And I've got one more question, and that is, who is the oldest mother in this room? Let's start with 50. If you're 50 and older, stand up. And you are a mother. All right. Let's go to 55, 60, 65, 70. Okay, we got one back here. There you are. Okay, is that the only? I am having a hard time seeing. Okay, so 75. Thank you, Caleb. 75, it's all you? How old? 77. You deserve this. Thank you. Thank you for being a mama. She made it, she says. She made it. That's awesome. All right, and this is very important from us to you. We know that Mother's Day can be very hard for many of us that are not moms or have lost children or no longer get to stay with our children. And we recognize that and we value that, and we have a gift for every woman in here, because Mother's Day is also a beautiful day to celebrate women and all that we do as women and mothers and that nurturing side that God has created in us. So after service today, if you are a woman, you may pick up your free gift over here at the connection station with Miss Erica, okay? Thank you, everybody, for the family that you've created all around you. All right, so today we are obviously celebrating moms, celebrating women, celebrating the life that God has given us. And to honor that and to really, we've got something really special to do with that. I'm going to turn it over to our very own Pastor Brian. He's going to invite some very special women, I think, as well, I heard, that we're going to get to hear from today. So Pastor Brian, let's give him a round of applause.
Let me have that. Thank you. Thanks, Ashley. Well, happy Mother's Day to everybody out here. Yeah, what an exciting day. Well, if you've been coming to Gateway for a while, you know that we like to say that there's no perfect people allowed here. See, nobody's perfect. Nobody's the perfect mother. Nobody had a perfect mother, and nobody is the perfect mother. She's never been born. She's never been invented. She's never even existed. And a matter of fact, as close as you're going to get to the perfect mother is June Cleaver, Beaver's mom, or maybe Carol Brady from the Brady Bunch. Now, I will say that my mother was very instrumental in my life growing up. So today, I would really like to share with you a little bit of the influence that she had on me growing up. So I want to begin by telling you the top 10 things that my mother said to me when I was growing up. All right. So number 10 is, what did I tell you about putting mommy's lip gloss on? Number 9, remember, Brian, you're only here because the gypsies didn't want you. Number 8, yes, Brian, you're very funny. Now finish your Prozac. This one was a little emotional for me growing up. Number 7 is, of course, I'll be your prom date. Number 6 thing that my mother said to me when I was growing up, do I know you? Number 5 was, next time you'll have to raise your own bail money. Number 4, this one's a little embarrassing for me. No, Brian, I haven't seen your Star Wars underpants. Number 3, with grades like these, you'll have to become a pastor. Number 2 was, look at all the empty chairs we invited to your birthday party. And the number 1 thing my mother said to me when I was growing up, time for bed, Steve, or whatever your name is. So, there is my list of the top 10 things my mother said to me when I was growing up. You know, Mother's Day can be a time to reflect and really honor those that help develop us, that put us on a path for success, that kissed our owies, that tucked us in bed, and even changed our poopy pants. But for some, like my daughter, whose mother died at an early age, Mother's Day can be very painful. For some here, Mother's Day reminds them of their mother who may have been or may still be a very difficult mother. There are some mothers that you can never please. They're miserable, and they make everybody around them miserable. They can be hateful and hurtful, which can make Mother's Day just kind of a difficult time. And for others of you, Mother's Day can be a reminder of your past. Because maybe you wanted to be a mom and you're not able to be. Or maybe you've lost a child. Or maybe you've had your kids taken away. Whatever it is, Mother's Day can really just stir up this range of emotions and even a level of sadness. You know, and oftentimes in ministry, we have this perception that the wives of our leaders are all together, that they had this wonderful upbringing, and that their life is full of unicorns and rainbows. So today, I want you to hear from a couple of mothers so that you can put that perception to rest. See, mothers, they're just not perfect. But maybe hearing from these mothers will take some of the pressure off of some of you here that feel like you're not meeting these expectations that others may have on you. See, you're not expected to be perfect. You will make mistakes. So please welcome up here my wife, Amy, and our Grow Pastor, Jason's wife, Donna. As we have a little bit of conversation about what it's like to be a mother. There you go.
Well, we're here to prove all that wrong about the rainbows and butterflies, huh, Donna?
Unicorns.
Oh, unicorns. See?
All right. All right, so to get started, Amy, why don't we start with you and just tell us a little bit of background about your relationship with your mother growing up.
Wow, you didn't say you're going to go that direction. That's why I didn't get to read the questions
Well,
beforehand.
you know, they were sent to you.
True. Email issues. So. My relationship with my mother was not a very healthy relationship. So my mother had my sister, who was 4.5 years older than myself and me. And she was just not really emotionally healthy to really raise children. So she had her parents, which are my grandparents, raise my sister and myself. She was in and out of our lives. She was kind of like if you were from a divorced family and you went and spent a weekend or a day with a dad or a mom. She was kind of like that. I would get to spend Saturdays with her once a week for like 3 hours. And then the rest of the week, there was like no contact. I didn't even know like a phone number for her or anything. I just kind of thought that was normal. But so I would see her once a week for 3 hours, and we would go to a park or a museum or something like that. And then that was kind of it. As I became a teenager, she ended up moving. She always had men in her life, and they were always the priority. And so when I was about 13, she moved to Florida because of a boyfriend that she had been with at the time and lived there for quite a while. So needless to say, we just didn't have a very good or healthy type of a relationship.
Okay. Same question for you, Donna. Tell us a little bit about what your relationship with your mother was growing up as a child.
My mom was 15 when she had me, so I was the firstborn of 3. And she had not had a very good childhood herself. She kind of came from a rough background. So she was not sure how to be a mom. And we struggled a lot. And we did not actually even have a relationship until I was probably in my early 40s. So there was the typical running away, fighting, being put in, ranch type situations, girls' homes and stuff like that. Physical fighting besides arguing and things like that. She was always there for me, but it wasn't always in a positive way.
Okay. So, how did your upbringing affect your relationship with your children when you became a mother?
I was going to do everything that my mother, I was not going to do anything she did and everything she didn't do, if that makes sense. And so in a lot of ways, I went completely the other way, which I went from a home that was maybe a little less emotionally supportive to one that was all the way on the other end of the scale, to where those boundaries were blurred, and I made a lot of decisions that probably were not to the benefit of my children maturing or learning to make their own decisions and be independent.
Amy, how about you?
Well, I mean, I never really gave it a lot of thought. I was kind of super withdrawn, and I was very introverted, and so I just didn't think things through very well. I didn't think deeper than kind of surfacey as I was younger. So I didn't think I was going to do a better job, but but through my actions, I tried my best to do a better job. I tried to be there. I think, but because I didn't have a lot of training in that area, I didn't have like a role model to watch. My grandma, who I did also live with after my mom left, she passed when I was 13. So then it was just myself and my grandfather, and he was just tired and older and just really didn't parent.
A lot like your husband now.
No, not at all. But so I just kind of was on my own. I was on my own from about 13 on up, and made a lot of mistakes, and ended up, pregnant out of wedlock, and just wanted that baby to fulfill a void that I had in me. But I didn't really know how to raise a child, and so I got pregnant young myself, and I just fumbled through a lot. I did a lot of things now, of course, I would do differently if I had a chance, but I just sort of fumbled a lot.
So tell us a little bit about where faith kind of intersected you being a mom, and how that maybe changed direction or course.
Well, for me, I didn't know anything about Jesus or God. Actually, a little bit about God, nothing about Jesus. Growing up, we didn't really go anywhere or do anything from a religious perspective. So I didn't have that peace. And so as I became an adult, I did accept Christ at 19, got married right after that. My son was a newborn, and thought that, that was the right thing to do. So we went down that road. I had 3 more kids after him. But during that time, like I knew that that's what I needed in my life. Like I just knew I had such a big gaping void that I needed Jesus, and I really did. And so as I started to grow and learn what that looked like, and to become a Christ follower as an adult, it was just a slow process, but it was a good process. I mean, even though I did make a lot of mistakes with my children as they grew up, I still always had that assurance at that point that it was going to be okay, that God had a purpose and a plan. And even when things were going crazy haywire, I still really felt a peace about that he was there. And so it was huge for me. It was really a big deal for me.
Donna, how about you? How did faith intersect your journey with your kids?
When I was a teenager, I was actually raised in the church. My grandma went to church and spent a lot of time with her. And mom went on and off. So when I was a teenager, mom really recommitted her life, and she quit drinking. And I was ticked, because up until that point, I kind of did what I wanted to, and she decided she was going to step in and be a mom. And so I decided I wasn't going to have anything to do with that. And for quite a while, I didn't go to church, and I didn't profess my faith or anything. And when my first son was born, I wasn't married, and I married his dad shortly thereafter. we decided we would take our children to church. So I did that. So we did the church thing. I mean, just the church thing, going to church, and, you know, one of the kids played baby Jesus in the, you know, the Christmas pageant or whatever it was. And we continued kind of in that path, you know, up and down. Like, I don't know if y'all have ever had this experience, but going out on Saturday night and coming home, getting up Sunday and going to church hungover with your kids because, you know, that was the right thing to do, was to get
No,
up.
nobody here has ever had that experience.
It wasn't until when the kids were mostly grown, except for the younger two that Jason and I have together, that we really made a commitment. So in there, we were in and out of church and in and out of being committed, and, you know, setting a different kind of example than I really wanted to set or even thought about at that point. At this point in our lives, we work hard to pray with our kids and pray for them, first of all, and then pray with them. A little more difficult now that they're adults and they're making their own decisions, but still in there trying.
So you said you and Jason have two together.
Mm-hmm.
Jason told us last week, I think, or the week before, that he had a daughter that he found out.
My surprise daughter.
Yeah. And so then you had three prior to?
I had 3 boys.
So you have 6 total.
We have 6 total.
Amy, you have 4. I have 2. So we have 6 total. So really the question that everyone here is really wanting to know, with those, each of you having 6 children, is which one is your favorite? All right.
You're so funny.
So
My dog. She gives me less problems.
So Donna shared a little bit with us there. So how have you tried to instill maybe your faith journey into the lives of your kids, other than taking them to church?
That's been kind of challenging for me because let's say accepted Christ at 19. For probably 20 years, I went to church faithfully. I went on Sundays, I went to Bible studies, I did everything I thought you were supposed to do as a Christian. I just kind of copied what I saw in the church. But what I ended up doing was being very legalistic and rulistic. And so I had all these lists of, you can't watch this show, you can't, listen to this music, but you can do this, but you can't do that. And I became all about, because I thought that was what you were supposed to do. I just thought, okay, you just make sure they don't do this, and they do this, and they don't do this, and they do this. And so as I raised them, it became really challenging because I was just running around always trying to make sure that they were doing what they're supposed to do and not doing what they weren't supposed to do from my perspective as a Christian. And it didn't develop a real relationship in my life, and it didn't develop a real relationship in their lives with Jesus. It just became, he was kind of this ogre that was like, always judging what you can and can't do. And so even though I was sincere and I loved Jesus, I just didn't know that there was a different way to follow him. And so I did that the whole time, pretty much the whole time my kids were growing up. So then when I started to realize it was more about a relationship and not about all these do's and don'ts, they were grown. So I was like, now what do I do? So now it's a matter of hopefully they're watching my lifestyle, and we do have a lot of conversation. I have 3 that are Christ followers. 1 just accepted Christ within the past year. She's 30. So, yeah. So one, they didn't really develop that relationship on their own until they were adults and have been adults for a little bit. So that was just truly God. My 4th one is still very much not sure. He still sees God as the rule maker, the way I kind of did instill it that way. And so he still has a lot of issues in that area. So I look for opportunities to talk with him, but it's super hard because he wants to argue with me, and I don't feel real good about that either. So so I just pray a lot. I pray a lot, and I don't really preach at him. I just love him and try to look for opportunities to have conversations from my heart and not about rules anymore.
How about for you, Donna?
again, like Amy, I look for opportunities to talk to them about God. We've had some of you know, we've had kind of a rough week. And so in instances like this where we've had, we had a car accident and people are in the hospital and we spent some time there, I look for opportunities to pray with them and to share my faith in that way without browbeating them, I guess would be the right word, or something like that. So I just try to be genuine with them and let them know how Jesus has changed my life and how it applies on a day-to-day basis in the things that I face in life.
Do you think it's easier in this generation being a mother than it was in your generation, or do you think it's harder?
I don't know. I mean, there's more out there now that's acceptable, movie-wise, drug-wise, stuff like that. So, I mean, I know that's really hard. But I think it was also hard when I was raising my kids as well. Because, people just, kids especially want to do what they want to do. And so I don't know if it's that much harder now. Honestly, I'm not sure.
I think it's hard no matter what. I really do. Probably the hardest thing I've ever done.
Yeah. What's, looking back, what's one thing that you wish you could have done differently as a mom?
And then there's that. For me, it'd probably be what I just said in my last answer. I would probably really want my kids to have a relationship with Jesus. If I could change anything, it would be how I reflected that to them in my own life. Had I known, what that looked like, I would love for them to have seen that and been able to, hopefully desire that for themselves.
Donna?
I wish I would have been more aware about the decisions, how the decisions that I make affect my children, just on a day-to-day basis. Because, there's that saying, do as I say and not as I do. And when I was, running around and drinking and going out, I was doing things I didn't think my children knew about. And they watch. Children know a lot of things we don't think that we do. And I see it, how it's affected them in different ways as they've gotten older. So I wish I would have been more aware of how those decisions affect them.
Do you think it's easier being a mom now that they are adults and out on their own, or do you think it's more challenging or heartbreaking?
Well, for me, it's easier because my kids all live in different areas, and so I don't have to deal with some of the heartache on a regular basis as when they're in your house where you have to. But I would say now it's different too because they're adults. We've been able to go through a lot of healing in our relationships from past hurts and talk about things and really develop a healthier, more honest kind of relationship anymore. I just try to be very genuine and authentic with everybody, people I meet, and my kids as well, and just let them know that I made tons of mistakes, and if I could change things, I would, but I can't. So moving forward, I'm just gonna really try to get myself healthy so I can have a healthier relationship with them and they can see what that looks like.
Donna, you mentioned the accident this week. What do you think it would be like raising kids nowadays without a faith, without Jesus in your life? Do you think it would be, obviously we think it would be more difficult, but I mean, what would that, could you even imagine raising kids now without a faith component?
I can't, in my work, I see a lot of people and I wonder how people make it through things without faith. Where do they go for any type of hope? And, with this accident, it was like, either way, everything will be okay. God is in charge of everything, but having to go through some of that without God, I think I probably would have had a mental breakdown, quite honestly. I think it's much more difficult for me being a parent of adult children than it was when they were younger. It's hard watching them make decisions and go through things that I can't fix and I can't do anything about. And without God, I don't think I would be able to do that. I think that I probably would have completely ruined all the relationships because I would have had no boundaries whatsoever, and they'd all run away, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. How about you, Amy? What, I mean, if you were trying to raise these kids nowadays without any type of faith component or guidance, do you think it'd be harder or easier? How would you get through some of the situations that you did?
I think it'd be really hard. I mean, because there's so many things that we can't control. And so I think to be able to have a God that I have a relationship with now, it just lessens the sting of seeing my kids do things that are hurtful to me, you know, seeing them make decisions that I know will be hurtful to them as well. And so without having that faith, I think I would try to control it. I still do to a degree, but I think I would dwell on it more. I would try to control it more. And now I'm able to just let a lot of that go and just let God kind of really be in control of those areas.
So what's one piece of advice that you could give maybe a new mom or a mom that's still raising their kids here that you wish somebody had given you?
Just keep moving forward, spiritually especially. Just keep taking those next steps. It's a really long and slow journey. I'm 55 and I'm still a hot mess. And so I still have so many areas that I could see that need some changing and growth in. And so just don't get discouraged. Find people that will walk alongside you that are healthy. Don't go to the person who's just going to tell you what you want to hear, but go to that person who has wisdom and maturity that will give you godly advice. Definitely. And I also just want to say one thing too, just because it popped in my head, but on Mother's Day and Father's Day, when I used to go to mainstream church, I call it, I hated going. Like I would almost cry every Mother's Day and Father's Day as I would sit out there like you guys, because I would look around and I always felt like everybody had it all so together. And the people that would go up and sit and talk on the stage like us seemed to really have it together, you know? And I would sit there and think, wow, like we are so far from that mark. Like my kids are just, we're so messy compared to what I'm seeing around me. And so I love that we get to do what we do here because we get to be open and authentic and genuine. And we're just saying, hey, you know, we've made oodles of mistakes. We will continue to, but just so grateful that we have a God that offers us grace and just walks along with us as we continue to go through life.
Yeah. Donna, how about you? What piece of advice?
I think I would go back to being aware and maybe some like self-care type things because, you know, I was struggling when I was younger and drinking to cope with things that I hadn't coped with, and being aware of those things that I have going on internally and learning different ways to cope with that and having a support group, as Amy said, would have made a huge difference in my children's life because I feel that would have helped me be a better me than I was at that point.
All right. Anything else you'd like to share?
Just love you guys. And you guys inspire me. I mean, you really do. We had a personal situation come up this weekend, and the last place I wanted to be was here, honestly. I mean, I was just walking around crying all morning. And I didn't want to do this because I felt like I don't have anything to share. And I'm just grateful for you guys because you guys just love on me no matter what. And you guys are so encouraging. So just thank you guys for being you.
All right. Thank you, guys. Yeah, give them another hand. They're great moms. And they don't have it all figured out or all together, as you can see. And as you've heard, there's no such thing as stress-free motherhood. And there's no such thing as stress-free mothers. But what there is a God that's always there for you. And he'll give you the strength and the courage to make it through those situations. And we've had lots of situations, and Donna and Jason have had lots of situations. Anytime you have 6 kids, the odds are just against you. So my advice would be, don't give up. Don't quit. Do what's right. Be the mother, or maybe the father, or the grandparent. Be the child that God wants you to be. You're not in the struggle alone. God is there for you. And maybe for some of you that are struggling, just remember, moms are people too. And they're just not perfect. And neither are you. But while we were and are still sinners, Jesus died to forgive us. And because of that, you have to forgive your mother for all her faults and all her failures. And really, to honor your mother is to forgive her and accept her for being an imperfect person. One of my favorite verses in the Bible, and I hope you moms will really sink into this, really believe this. It's found in the New Testament book of Ephesians in the Bible in chapter 2 and verse 10, and it says this: "For we are God's masterpiece. He has created us anew in Christ Jesus, so we can do the good things he planned for us long ago." See, moms, you are God's masterpiece. And no matter where you're at in your journey right now with your kids, maybe you're just starting out, maybe you've been there 50 years ago, God still has good things planned for you. So just don't forget that. Don't forget that no matter how your day is going, your kids are maybe causing all kinds of problems, or maybe you've lost one, or whatever the situation is. You are God's masterpiece, and he has good things planned for you. So as the band comes back up here and they sing some songs to God and for God and about God, and you can sit, you can stand, we'll put the words up here on the screen. But maybe you need to ask God to help you forgive your mother. Maybe you need to ask God for the courage to get past a bitterness or resentment that you're hanging on to. Ask him to do that during these songs. Or maybe you just need to give thanks to God because you had a wonderful mom. You had the best mom that anybody could ask for. Whatever that is, whether it's asking God to help you forgive or whether it's God helping you to give thanks, do that as you listen to these songs. If you want somebody to pray with you and for you during this time, we'll have people over here to my left and right over by the garage door and that door over there. And they'd love to pray with you. We don't pass an offering bucket here. This is just our gift to you. We've got giving stations set up back there and little trash cans that are offering buckets. And when we give, it's just really giving thanks to what God's done in our life. And then we use that to reach more people who don't know Jesus, that 70% that are still unchurched. So as the band plays these songs, just spend some time with God.
Nothing can separate. Even if I ran away, your love never fails. I know I still make mistakes, but you have new mercies for me every day. Your love never fails. You stay the same through the ages. Your love never changes. There may be pain in the night, but joy comes in the morning. And when the oceans rage, I don't have to be afraid, because I know that you love me. Your love never fails. The wind is strong and the water's deep, but I'm not alone here in these open seas. Your love never fails. The chasm is far too wide. I never thought I'd reach the other side. Your love never fails. You stay the same through the ages. Your love never changes. There may be pain in the night, but joy comes in the morning. And when the oceans rage, I don't have to be afraid, because I know that you love me. Your love never fails. Make all things work together for my good. You make all things work together for my good. You make all things work together for my good. You make all things work together for my good. You make all things work together for my good. You make all things work together for my good. You stay the same through the ages. Your love never changes. There may be pain in the night, but joy comes in the morning. And when the oceans rage, I don't have to be afraid, because I know that you love me. Your love never fails. Your love never fails. Work together for my good. Lord, I come and I confess, bowing here, I find my rest. Without you, I'll fall guides my heart. And Lord, I need you. Oh, I need you. Every hour I need you. My one defense, my righteousness. Oh God, how I need you. Where sin runs deep and your grace is more, where grace is found is where you are. And where you are, Lord, I am free. Holiness is Christ in me. And where you are, Lord, I am free. And holiness is Christ in me. Sing it, guys. Lord, I need you. Oh, I need you. Every hour I need you. My one defense, my righteousness. Oh God, how I need you. So teach me a song to write to you. When temptation comes my way, when I cannot stand, I'll fall on you. Jesus, you're my hope and stay. Lord, I need you. Oh, I need you. Every hour I need you. My one defense, my righteousness. Oh God, how I need you. I need you. Oh, I need you. And every hour I need you. My one defense, my righteousness. Oh God, how I need you. My one defense, my righteousness. Oh God, how I need you. I stand before you now. The greatness of your renown, and I have heard of the majesty and wonder of you, King of heaven. In humility I bow as your love, wave after wave, crashes over me, crashes over me. For you are for us, You are not against us. Champion of heaven, you made a way for all to enter in. I have heard you calling my name, and I have heard the song of love that you sing. Oh, so I'm glad you draw me out beyond the shore into your grace. Oh, to your grace, as your love will wave after wave crashes over me, crashes over me. For you are for us, you are not against us. Champion of heaven, you made a way for all to enter in. 'Cause you make me brave, you make me brave. You call me out beyond the shore into the waves. And you make me brave, you make me brave. No fear can hinder now the love that made a way. And you make me brave, you make me brave. You call me out beyond the shore into the waves. And you make me brave, you make me brave. No fear can hinder now the love that made a way. And you make me brave, you make me brave. You call me out beyond the shore into the waves. And you make me brave, you make me brave. No fear can hinder now the promises you made. And you make me brave, you make me brave. No fear can hinder now the promises you made. And you make me brave, you make me brave. You call me out beyond the shore into the waves. It's your love in wave after wave crashes over me, crashes over me. For you are for us, you are not against us. Champion of heaven, you made a way for all to enter in. Let your love wave after wave crashes over me, crashes over me. For you are for us, you are not against us. Champion of heaven, you made a way for all to enter in. Hallelujah. Thank you guys for coming today. I'm really proud that you guys just made the decision to get up and get out of bed. Not many people make that decision to come. And so you're being obedient to God, and you're being obedient to the calling that you have to be here today. And thank you for coming and worshiping with us. Have a good day.
Hey, let me pray real quick. Hey, God, thank you for moms. And it is not an easy job. And Lord, There are no perfect moms, so just let them know that it's okay to make mistakes. But Lord, that you created them as your masterpiece. So moms out there, just say this quietly or out loud with me. Just, I am God's masterpiece. I am God's masterpiece. I am God's masterpiece. And when things get difficult, you can just remember that. No matter what, you are God's masterpiece. And he's created you to do good things that he planned for you long ago. So Lord, as the moms go this week, as all of us go this week, just help us to remember that, help that to resonate in our soul, that you are with us and that you want good things for us, Lord. Give us strength, give us courage, give us endurance as we deal with our kids. We pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen. Hey, we've got some mom's gifts over there, so don't forget to grab one of those on your way out. Got some to-go boxes out front. Thanks for coming to church for people who don't like church, where no perfect people are allowed. It's getting a little weak. No, you're just